light up and they'll start to smile whenever they start talking about things that they really care about. And so that's actually really genius. I've never put it into that, that type of a acronym before. Now, where did you come up with that?
It's something I read from a lot of, it's not just for girls, but this, I just started applying this to women, but I used to do a lot of reading on how to keep conversation going forever. And I read a lot of theories, but the Ford method is the only one that actually kind of works in real life. Mm-hmm. Of course, it takes a lot of practice and you mess up a lot. But if you can get the hang of it, you can just pretty much talk to anyone. You can just go up to a stranger on the street and you can get to know them really well. So that's why I like the Ford method. It's just a method of talking to anybody, but it works well with women if you're nervous with them. And one thing that helps before a date is you got to make it really clear that it's going to be awkward. But once you let her know it's going to be awkward, then she knows, okay, then it takes off the pressure. Off. Yeah, because then you can laugh about it. So every time you run out of things to talk about, like if you're just laughing and talking, but then suddenly dead silence, you can just be like, yep. You gotta let her know that you're aware that, yeah, this is really awkward. So just bring it up and then you can laugh about it. And she, of course, understands because she senses it's awkward as well.
I think it's really important whenever you go on a first date with somebody that you actually have a set routine of things that you know you're going to do and say. Because if you've got like let's say you're bringing with you this Ford method, you're bringing in a couple of little statements that are showing her that you're attracted to her, because a lot of times these first dates you keep talking about stuff like this and they have a tendency to turn into almost like a friend date. Like if you're not escalating during the date, if you're not touching her, if you're not constantly reminding her that you're interested in her, then things can devolve kind of, and you get to where you're really comfortable with each other. It's like we would go watch a movie together, but the spark isn't there to sleep with them. So, do you ever experience this problem, and what do you do to overcome it?
You mean getting friend zoned?
Yes, basically.
Mm-hmm. Me personally, I don't get friend zoned too much just because I don't actively go after women in real life. I usually, in real life, like women from school or women from work, usually I'm so I keep to myself and I just kind of let them come to me. So I just
That's a good thing.
It's kind of the method of just it's just really showing no interest. And then if you just show no interest in women, then a few of them are bound to come to you because then they're relaxed and they assume, okay, he's not going to try to make any moves on me. And then that way you can start talking to them like a friend. And then,
well, if you're at work, that's really important because you're going to see these girls every single day.
Yes.
You don't need to come out and be like super aggressive and pushy, because if they turn you down, then it's going to be really awkward for the rest of the time that you work there. So
no, usually, to overcome friend zone, usually by the 3-4, when you're 75% done with the evening, you should make some kind of physical contact with them.
Oh, 100%.
Well, then end of the just end with the
end of the night kiss.
Yeah, end of the night kiss.
I've never done that on the first date.
Yeah, I don't recommend that.
But if she's looking at,
because that's awkward.
Like she wants to. Okay. If she's glancing at your lips or something like that.
The thing is, I usually kiss them about 30 to 45 minutes into the date. I don't wait until the end.
The first date?
Yeah.
No, what I do is, even if
you got balls,
even if by the end they look like they really want to, I usually just don't. But I still touch them, like make enough physical contact.
See, that's another thing I don't do. I don't touch unless I'm being touched.
Oh, that's crucial, because that's what'll get you into the friend zone quick. And if you haven't really
that too, if you can go for the first kiss, and if she turns her head for the cheek, you know she's not into you.
No, that's not true at all. What I do is I will start escalating the minute she gets there. I will give her a hug. I'll hug her, pick her up, and a lot of times I'll even pick her up and spin her around in circles and then put her back down, and then she's like, oh my God.
And throw up in the air. Yeah,
then she throws up all over me, and it's super romantic.
Wait, no, I think you're thinking of babies. No, that's baby. We're talking about
babes.
Yeah.
We're talking about babes.
No, with
Females.
I usually just don't kiss them at all or anything, because that way it kind of builds up the anticipation for the second date. And plus, if you kiss them at the end of the night, it's kind of like you want things to escalate quickly. So you're trying to skip the steps so you can get to sex quick. Well, usually I just make contact
second
like...
or third date,
usually I think second date, like you can just do whatever on the second date.
Yeah.
Because if you hold off completely on the first date, then you've shown to them that you have patience. And then by the second date, they'll usually be much more open to letting you do whatever.
Unless you're on a Tinder date and it's clear this is a hookup.
Yeah.
Then you're expected to do the kiss and everything on the first date, because how else are you going to get to sex? So what happens, and a lot of times the date will be clearly like a hookup. If you just barely talk on Tinder, you send a few messages and then you're just like, yeah, you want to meet up for coffee or something, then obviously she's like, yeah, let's go. But if it's like you got this real connection and you're really trying, you text her for like 3 days straight and you're really like, wow, I really like this girl and she really likes you, then you might be setting yourself up for a relationship. So the type of interaction that you have with her on Tinder or on text message is going to greatly determine like what type of relationship she's looking for as well. But that's neither here nor there. The main reason that I want to escalate with a girl from the very beginning is because ultimately, if you wait to the end of the night to kiss her, it's going to be really awkward. It's like if I've never touched her before and then all of a sudden I'm like trying to grab her and like kiss her, she might even recoil when I touch her, just because it's not that she's not attracted to me, it's just because she doesn't expect it. And that's one thing you definitely don't want to do, is surprise a girl. So I will touch her on the shoulder, like while she's talking and telling a story. Like if I laugh or something, I'll like lightly touch her on the shoulder. I will hit on her blatantly throughout the night.
Or move little strings of hair out of her face and behind her ear. They love that.
Or you can just like grab their hair and like play with it and just be like, or if they have their hair up, or I wouldn't recommend taking it down, but just like kind of mess with it and just be like, I like your hair like that.
Yeah. Or like shove all of your fingers in her mouth, like in public. No, surprisingly, they love that. It works every time. Just you're walking in the park, you just shove your whole fist in her mouth and just hold her tongue like a squeeze toy. Trust me, this works.
I can't tell if you're being serious or not.
Okay, no. But a milder version of that is...
Yeah. I think we might need to report you.
No, but a couple of things...
Are you on the sex offender list?
Boy, not yet. But a couple of body language things that I always just have... Like, I make those top priority is... Always keep your hands in front of your body, because, and also never cross your arms. That's the two things that I always do. Because if you're crossing your arms, then it's kind of...
Always hold it out in front of you.
Because arms crossed, you're usually kind of nervous, so you tend to kind of coil inwards. But if you're outwards, then it's kind of like, I'm all here. Just come talk to me. And hands behind your back is kind of like you're hiding something. And I don't believe in like subliminal messaging, but... I do tend to trust people more when their hands are outwards and they're showing me their hands and what they got.
Well, yeah, because you never know, they could have a gun back there or something.
Yeah, and usually I've never just
like you.
Yeah, I've never on first date, even Tinder, just hooked up with them, because usually what they want to do is meet you first and then make sure you're not a rapist or killer, and then
right. That's always the first order of operations. That's a girl's number one fear when they actually go out on a date, is they are worried that you're a serial killer. You know what the guy's number one fear is when he goes on a date? On a girl from online, is that she's going to be fat. So trust me, if you're scared, the girl has way more fear to overcome than you do, because she's literally scared for her life. She's thinking you're going to cut her head off and cut her face off and wear it. Like that's where her mind goes. Huh? Yeah. So I always tell people if they're nervous on their first date, it's like if the girl actually shows up, that's really good, because that girl literally thinks that you're so cool and you could have such a good time together that she's willing to risk being murdered by a serial killer to meet you.
Yeah, because statistically, you are going to hurt her in some way. Like, you're probably going to end up abusing her. Like, if you just look at what's common.
Who's going to end up abusing her?
The man. Usually in these things, the man usually tends to be an asshole, and he uses the woman for sex or beats her or tries to hurt her. Like, he's like some kind of crazy guy.
No, that's the point of Kismet Academy, is we want to educate people so that they don't end up abusing their women. Yeah. We want to educate people on how to actually behave so that we don't...
Go ahead.
So that we don't have these issues. The girls that date students from Kismet Academy should love them, and the guy should treat them with respect. We want everyone to have a great time together, and that's the point of Kismet.
Well, just like Bullet here has a saying, I have a saying too, the 3 H's. You all know that one?
What?
Hang out, have fun, hook up.
Never heard of this.
Yeah. That's
Something you made up?
Corey Wayne.
So
It's in the book.
Corey Wayne. Shout out to Corey Wayne.
So it's hang out, hook up, and what?
No, hookups last.
Hang out, have fun, and hook up.
And then hook up.
Yeah, that is awkward, because when you're not sure if it's a hookup or not.
But you don't tell the chick that, you know. Obviously, you don't want them to know your sayings, but
Yeah, I think
that hookup is like in the third or fourth date, or second or third, fourth date, whatever.
Oh, man. There's so many girls, though, that are just ready to go on the first date. Like, you don't even realize. Like, if you're not hooking up with girls on the first date, you're wasting a lot of opportunities. I know a lot of guys, and I don't usually do this, but I know a lot of guys that will actually have girls come to their house on the first date. And there's no coffee. It's just come over and have sex and bye.
No,
that's called Uber Eats.
That's not right. You tell her if she wants to come over or whatever to your place, you tell her pick up a bottle of wine, pick up some tea, whatever her desire of drink is, and you cook her a nice meal. But
yeah, that's an interesting date.
You mean for a hookup?
No, for a date.
Okay, like with an actual person.
If she comes over to your house.
Comes over to your place.
That's classy.
Yeah. You tell her you're going to cook a meal together.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So what would you do before a hookup? Like, you're on a first date and you know this is just a hookup. Like,
Oh, escalate. 100%.
So, would you go to dinner?
No. I never go to dinner
No,
anyway.
not if it's just a hookup.
Yeah, because honestly, the prospect of eating and then kissing, and like even just kissing after you eat, it just disgusts me.
Especially if you're eating like Mexican. That's terrible.
Yeah.
You get all those onions and peppers. Ugh, no. I actually never take a girl to dinner and a movie because that's so cliche. She's been on that date so many times. It's very hard for you to stand out. I always recommend doing something physical. So if it's like
cooking,
playing darts.
Yeah. Play darts.
And try to walk.
You can go for a drink.
Next.
Just go for a drink. If you know it's a hookup, that's the easiest thing. You have 1 or 2 drinks and you're out. Take her to,
museum, botanical garden. Just ask her where she likes.
Or like a little
Here's
theme
another-
park type thing where you've got go-karts. Malibu Jack's is great. Dave and Buster's.
Yeah.
Something like that where you guys can actually do something together and have fun and have things to talk about.
Go to the hospital, look at the sick people. Take her out on a boat ride.
No, not sick people. Go to the veterans hospital or something and volunteer or something.
Yeah, or just
hand out
like
flowers.
laugh
to
at the elderly people. Yeah, there's
Something that makes you feel good.
endless things.
You can go to the hospital and look at all the sick people and compare yourself and be like, thank God we're not like them.
Ew, look at their fucking veins, dog. Ew.
Oh man!
But
Look at that guy taking a shit.
But here's a little suggestion. Maybe
You can go make fun of homeless people too.
Just go up to homeless people and just kick the change cups out of their hands and just watch them pick up the pennies. And that's
laugh.
That's when you make your move.
That's when she gets wet.
Picking up nickels.
All right, we're supposed to have a good time here.
Okay, yeah, no.
Not teasing.
Not tease the homeless.
Oh god. You guys, everyone knows we're just kidding.
But another suggestion is try to make a